Hello, my name is David Wiedemann, and this is 5 Minutes of Thought, episode number 1. This is the introduction to this series, 5 Minutes of Thought. In this episode, we are going to ask, what is 5 Minutes of Thought? We're going to talk about tipping the edifice of dismay. What's the big idea? This is it. People everywhere are in organizations from the cradle to the grave, but we're not that good at working together. So the goal is to fix that and to do it 5 minutes at a time. Today we're going to talk about organizations, fixing organizations. We're going to ask so what, and we're going to reflect. Hopefully, wondrous things will ensue. Okay, organizations, what are they? Well, anytime you are together with people trying to do something and there are tacit or explicit rules or guidelines or norms or agreements or assumptions about how you work together, you're in an organization of some kind. Yes, that means you're always in an organization with somebody at some time. What counts as an organization? Just about everything. Family, playgroup, preschool, camp, school, friends, college, work, church, volunteer, game night, book club, barbecue down the street, people you meet every time you go to the restaurant around the corner. Everything's an organization. Here's the problem, though, is that in general, we don't do organizations well. We're not that great at working together. In fact, you'll probably agree with me when I suggest that just about every organization we're in could be graphed on what I'm calling the continuum of dismay, with kind of a benign, uncoordinated, slightly annoying level at one end, and more pathological, intense, sort of stressful or harassing environment at the other end. For example, you might say, well, my family isn't that horrible. I'll put them low on the scale. My work's a little worse, not really that comfortable there. I don't really get along with someone in my work group. Maybe your sports team, old school coach, kind of abusive style. Maybe it goes a little higher. And who knows, maybe in your theatrical group, you're going through some struggle. There's an atmosphere of distrust, maybe a little bit of coercion and manipulation going on, a feeling of not quite being that safe. So maybe that's temporarily at the highest level. Why? Why is it that we can graph most of our organizations on the continuum of dismay instead of some other continuum of productivity or effectiveness or humanity or something like that? Here's in part why. When you look at the universe of things that control or guide our behavior, give us expectations for how we behave in organizations, rules, assumptions, norms, agreements, so forth, only a few of them are visible. Most of them are invisible, by which I mean we only really think about and talk about and are conscious of and able to discuss and change a little bit. Most of the things that are going on are happening slightly below the level of individual consciousness and organizational consciousness. We're not talking about it. We don't know how to surface it. We don't know how to name it. It's not being addressed. It's not designed. So we're working together mostly based on a kind of an instinctive, intuitional, subconscious kind of sleepwalking arrangement. And that's not the greatest way to design anything, of course, to not be quite conscious. So the goal for improving organizations is to move this line of demarcation between the visible and invisible rules down lower. So more of what is controlling our behavior and guiding us, we can actually see and think about and choose. We want to be intentional about the rules to the games that we play in organizations. If you will, moving this line of demarcation down is what 5 minutes of thought is designed to do. There is one challenge. However, in all this, it's a challenge of complexity. Let me explain it and let me tell you about how we want to address it. Let's just look at one person. Let's take one person out of the organization of multiple people and look at all the things that are going on for them. People are systems of systems already, individual people. Let's take this person. She's got a feeling system, affect system. She's got a physical system. She's got cognitive functions going on. She's got communication systems going on. She's making decisions. She's learning. She's growing. She's got self-expression and storytelling. She's got long-range plans and hopes and dreams. She herself is in a constant state of development. She's got some kind of internal assessment function going on where she's thinking about all the things she's doing and changing and improving them, and she's got her own self-image, and that plays into this, and she's got a community and engagement and environment that she's active in and thinking about and interacting with. She's got her own list of to-dos. That's a variety of things and all walks of life that she's actively managing and doing things. And she's got friends and people she manages that she's thinking about and worrying about and communicating with as well. There's a lot. And this is only a tip of the iceberg, arbitrarily chosen 5% of the systems inside of this one person. Multiply that times all the other people in the organization, and it's hopelessly complex. And that's just the people. What if you add to that the real systems we already talked about, the process and plans we know and put in place, the technical systems we design, the physical systems like the buildings, the environment, governance, culture, politics, the list goes on and on and on. There's a lot of complexity, and that's part of the problem. So how do these people handle that? Here's our suggestion. To handle complexity, if you can't get your head around everything deductively, you can approach it inductively. You can engage with it little by little. You can find a simple idea or approach or way forward, try it out, see how it goes, and change it a little bit, do it again, try a different idea. It's a practical way to engage in a complex world, one idea at a time, and each time you do it, you're getting a little bit more complex yourself. You're starting to get your head around what's going on. That's why we call this the overwhelm reduction process, and it's what 5 Minutes of Thought is designed to do. The 5 minutes of each episode of 5 Minutes of Thought aim to present an idea that you can use to try out in your workplace and see how it goes. And if you do them all, you get a pretty comprehensive view of what's going on in your organization. What topics do we draw on as we're designing 5 Minutes of Thought? Just about every field of knowledge that seems relevant to people and people working together. So that's everything from organizational design to systems thinking to feelings to getting things done to emotional intelligence. You name it. The three overarching principles that we're looking at are: we want you to feel like you have the power to change the world and make it better. We want to give you hope. We want to reassure you that you can build organizations that are humane in principle and also effective. What happens if you start to use 5 Minutes of Thought? If you take a few of our ideas, try them out, see how they go, we think this is what will happen. Slowly, each of these ideas will become the thin edge of a wedge that you're driving into the edifice of dismay that we seem to have built around us in all our organizations. Okay, so what? Here's the so what. It's 3 parts. Part 1, we're in organizations all over the place, all the time, every day. We can change the way we work together even the littlest bit. Think of the great benefits that will accrue at scale for everybody. 2, yes, organizations are kind of complicated, so don't try to understand everything. Part 3, use our experiential system of ideas, testing them out and seeing how they go. And if you do, in 5-minute increments, you will be toppling the edifice of dismay. Let's pause and reflect. What do you think? Plausible, legitimate endeavor? Something that we can tackle, something you're interested in? Tell us what you think. Come visit us at davidwiedemann.com, share your ideas. And if you'd like an easy step forward, nothing could be easier. Listen to a couple of the 5 Minutes of Thought, try them out, and see how they go. Okay. We have talked about organizations, fixing organizations. We've asked so what, and we have reflected. And hopefully wondrous things ensued. I am David Wiedemann. This has been 5 Minutes of Thought, episode number 1, the introduction. And I leave you today with the provocative idea that you can become the wedge that drives in and topples the edifice of dismay around you.